Hey, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Orca. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be reacting to conspiracy TikTok videos. Before we get into this video, man, like the video, subscribe to the channel, man. We're gonna get right into it.
Listen to what the US government said today. Axios has just obtained a memo where the DOJ and FBI concluded that they have no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed any powerful figures, that they have no evidence that he kept a client list, and they have no evidence he was murdered. To support these statements, they released over 10 hours of footage that they say indicates no one entered the area of Epstein's cell on the night he died. But, as you can see, this footage is not from the cameras directly outside his cell. That's because in 2020, the jail revealed that unfortunately that footage had been permanently destroyed by accident due to technical errors. The memo also adds that investigators found no evidence that could predicate an investigation against currently uncharged third parties, and this is despite in February Pam Bondi being asked if the justice system would release Epstein's client list, to which she responded,
"It's sitting on my desk right now to review."
And then, just to top it off, remember the truckloads of Jeffrey Epstein documents that the FBI promised they were going to release? Well, now the memo says that, quote, no further disclosure of Epstein-related material would be appropriate or warranted. So it looks like that's that. This is where the official story of Jeffrey Epstein seems to end.
So this is the footage of Jeffrey Epstein's cell, and it's supposed to be proof by the Department of Justice that no one went inside of his cell and killed him, and that's why they said he commits. But there's just one problem. So if we look at the footage, there's about 11 hours of it. From the minute 11:59 to 12 a.m., it cuts out for 1 minute and we do not see that footage. Now, I don't know if this is some type of joke because everyone is starting to figure this out after watching the footage, but there's a whole minute that's completely cut out. Also, what happened to them saying that the cameras malfunctioned or they lost the footage, whatever the heck happened, but now, magically years later, they recover the deleted footage or the footage that they never had from a different angle that's literally right in front of the cell. And it's the same day we get it where they say there's no client list and that he commits. It's just frustrating because months ago the Attorney General said the client list was on her desk and now there is no client list. And now the footage, there's a whole minute that's cut out and we still have no explanation for that. If we do, I'll keep you guys updated, but just a weird day.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30 over 50s in a park having a gathering in case they play music too loud.
It's an illegal gathering.
Illegal?
Yeah, it's illegal.
You've got nothing better to do. So in the meantime, while vigilantes have taken to catching people, you've got this many police in case music gets too loud, with a group of over 50s. Do you all feel like you're useful here today?
Yes.
You do? You feel like this is necessary?
Illegal activity.
Illegal activity?
Yeah.
What, that?
Yeah. Yep. If you looked up the legislation, you'd be able to see that yourself.
And you can't just turn a blind eye to some over 50s in a park having a gathering. That's pathetic, mate. You need to change the legislation, if anything.
It's not our rules, is it?
Well, who decides how many of you are here? Why are they
make the rules.
so you disagree with the rules?
I didn't make the rules.
But you disagree with them?
I'm not saying whether I disagree with them or not. But rules are rules.
So where are they going now?
Speak to the organisers.
Why? Mate, they're mostly over 50s over there. Sat around having a little gathering in the park. Do you know why?
Why are you not over there?
Because I just think it's pathetic what you lot are doing.
Oh, are you not part of the gathering then?
Yeah, I'm part of it, yeah.
Oh, right.
When there's like the vigilantes have had to take to catching pedophiles, it's just like, what the fuck are you lot doing, frankly?
That's true.
There's literally nothing better for you to be doing. Nothing.
Always stuff to do. Busy job.
Is it? Seems like it. Pathetic, mate. Pathetic.
Bill Gates is very interested in your water. While everyone's distracted with indictments and celebrity BS, Bill Gates, BlackRock, and Nestle just quietly teamed up. Yes, Nestle. Same company whose chairman literally said water isn't a human right, and now they're making moves to own it. This isn't speculation, it's already happening. Gates is buying up farmland that sits on major aquifers. BlackRock is pouring billions into water infrastructure. And Nestle? Still extracting millions of gallons while local communities run dry. They're not just buying land, they're buying access to rivers, lakes, groundwater. They're investing in the tech to monitor, track, and reroute where water flows and who gets it. This isn't about conservation. This is about control. Food already controls people, but water? Water controls everything. You can live without oil. You can survive without power. But water? You've got days. They already run agriculture, finance, and energy. Now they want to own survival itself, and no one's stopping them. This is a hostile takeover of the one thing we need to live. And by the time...
Let me tell you something. It can't happen, bro. This is not possible. I don't even know why they're trying, because the moment they try this, the whole world's going to go in an uproar. It's not possible. Everybody's going to crash out. You can't control water, bro. That's greedy. Come on.
Time people wake up, it'll already be gone.
Have you heard the theories that AI is our response to losing religion? As we've taken the Nietzschean downslope of there's nothing. We had a void and had to create our own God.
I have heard that.
And if you think about AI, it's 24 hours a day. It could be anywhere and it's everywhere all the time. But if you think about the 5 properties of what people believe God of any kind is, aside from loving, because it can't, to your point, emote, it ticks off every box of a literal deity.
It's idolatry. I mean, it's where it literally leads. It's nuts. I mean, we're seeing that's already happened where people are becoming in relationships with AI and literally treating it as a god, and there's religions based around it already. And we're just building that trust right now of that oh yeah, this is great, this is awesome, and it's just building that first relationship with our first interaction with AI.
We talk about the Book of Enoch a lot on this podcast too. It talks specifically about these, was it 7 watchers? These watchers came to Earth and they were supposed to literally just watch over humanity, but they turned against God. But then it says that they taught them all these things, basically everything that AI can do is what these 7 watchers were teaching man.
It's the Tower of Babel all over again. One of the watchers was supposed to be preserving and living in accordance with instructions given by God, and instead they were trying to ascend to a place, replacing God, which the parallels to where we are now are pretty crazy.
China's military just deployed mosquito-sized drones that are completely invisible to the human eye and could spy on you from inside your own home. These military surveillance drones are only 2 centimeters long, weigh less than a paperclip, and flap their wings exactly like real insects. You literally cannot tell the difference between these spy machines and actual...
Now we're going to have to start making drone catchers. This is crazy.
Bugs crawling on your wall. The Chinese National University of Defense Technology confirmed these micro drones can perch inside any building, record everything you do, and transmit classified intelligence back to military command centers without anyone knowing. Your private conversations, your personal documents, your family gatherings, all being recorded by what you think is just a harmless bug on your ceiling. While American military drones are still the size of cars and make noise you can hear from miles away, China just made surveillance completely undetectable. These mosquito drones can swarm in groups of thousands, coordinate attacks, and gather intelligence from every corner of a city simultaneously. This technology is operational right now. Every insect in your house could potentially be watching you. The age of true privacy just ended, and most people have no idea it's already happening.
If all your theories are true, which they most certainly appear to be, our civilization has been rebooted as of 12,000 years ago. Modern civilization emerges somewhere around 7,000 years ago. In 4.6 billion years of life on Earth, or excuse me, of the life of the Earth existing, and then life on Earth being, in our form, a few 100,000 years, right? And 100,000 years is a long time. That's 10 events since the big impact. 10 times.
Well, remember the Greenland ice core graph that I showed you? I mean, what you're seeing there is a dozen or more enormous events in the last 250,000 years. In the time, probably the oldest human skeleton, modern human skeleton, is now dated to about 180,000 years. How much earlier than that were we? I don't know. But conservatively, we can say 180,000 years. That Greenland ice core graph that I showed you goes back 250,000.
New rule: if a 24,000-year-old bone from the Congo shows evidence of complex math, maybe it's time we stop thinking prehistoric humans spent all day just chasing mammoths with spears and grunting at fires. Talking about the Ashango bone, discovered near the headwaters of the Nile. It's covered in notches that aren't random, they follow patterns. primes, multiples, and what looks suspiciously like subtraction, which means either this was an ancient counting tool or it's the world's oldest Excel spreadsheet carved in a femur. And yeah, some folks still debate the interpretation, but here's the point. Someone 24,000 years ago was thinking in numbers. This wasn't just cave graffiti. This was a cognitive flex. And it throws a big stone spear into the idea that intelligence only shows up when we build pyramids or discover calculus. So maybe it's time to admit, math class did not start in ancient Greece. It started wherever people had questions.
You gotta think about it though, because I mean, you gotta know math to build the pyramid. Like, one of the corners is gonna be uneven.
And a sharp object. The Ashango bone doesn't just rewrite what we know about early humans. It reminds us that brilliance doesn't require marble columns. Just curiosity and a reason to count.
It may sound straight out of a movie, but the Pentagon and a Harvard scientist have collaborated on a new draft report questioning if we're alone in the universe and whether we've already seen evidence of life beyond Earth. Here's Gotti Schwartz.
Tonight, out of Harvard University, a draft paper about mysterious flying objects sounding almost like science fiction.
I think it's very likely that we are not the most intelligent civilization that ever existed.
Renowned Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb teaming up with the new head of the Pentagon's UFO office, dubbed the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. Together, they say that interstellar objects detected in space could be signs of extraterrestrial life, and that current sky mapping technology, like the James Webb Space Telescope, could miss such objects.
It could have been a mother ship that released some probes in the habitable region around the sun. We have a visitor to our backyard.
One of them spy mosquitoes is in here, bro. Fuck.
We should observe it at first.
Professor Loeb now leading the charge to build better arrays of sensors to capture anomalies, but saying for now everything is hypothetical, and his paper is really meant to remind UFO hunters not to forget the laws of physics.
As much as the reports from military personnel are intriguing and motivate my work right now, I want my instruments to tell me what is really happening.
Meanwhile, more videos surfacing showing odd objects have been leaked to documentary UFO filmmaker Jeremy Corbell, who recently released pictures of an orb shape over Mosul, and these images showing a cylinder flying over a rock. The Pentagon not commenting on the recent videos, but confirming prior videos released by Corbell had been filmed by service members. As for what they are, definitive explanations remain out of reach.
This is absolutely wild. Do you remember Oumuamua? The massive asteroid rock that came through our solar system back in 2017 initially. Well, some recent AI data analysing it has basically suggested it really wasn't an asteroid. This is absolutely wild. Initial data about the object did defy most explanations for asteroids and comets, i.e. it didn't emit gas like a comet, it had no visible tail like a comet or asteroid, its speed and trajectory did not match the behaviour of any known asteroid or comet ever seen, and also it accelerated mysteriously as it exited our solar system without any clear propulsion source. So guys, Oumuamua was almost definitely not an asteroid. This thing was almost definitely looking like some kind of possible advanced alien probe, possibly, to go that went through our solar system. So the new data, newly processed spectral data and motion simulations of Oumuamua's trajectory reveal highly anomalous features that don't align with any known natural object. The recent breakthrough came through when an international team of physicists fed all available observational data into a deep learning quantum AI system designed to identify patterns unrecognizable by the human eye. When it returned, it sent chills down everyone's spine. The object changed direction in a way that suggests internal control or intelligent guidance. Kaku stated during a recent panel discussion about this. It doesn't behave like a comet or asteroid or debris. It behaves like a probe. The system flagged the following anomalies: reflective surface consistent with engineered material, acceleration that matches solar sail propulsion, a theoretical technology proposed by human scientists but never observed naturally, irregular but deliberate trajectory shifts suggesting possible maneuverability. This is what the AI has just decided has worked out from all the data to do with Oumuamua. Basically, guys, this thing was definitely an alien probe, according to a lot of the data. Not 100% definite, but a lot of the data seems to be suggesting this. Wild!
So the head researcher, Alberto Cavallero, used the Drake equation, and that's basically how we estimate the number of intelligent civilizations. Then he factored in how often humans have invaded each other here on Earth, and then scaled that up across the Milky Way. So if intelligent life is common, and if it behaves like us, there could be 4 advanced species right now with the capability and the aggression to harm us. So that exact fear is the heart of the dark forest hypothesis. Every civilization is a potential threat, so they either stay silent or they destroy, which raises a huge question. Should we really be sending signals into space? I mean, we've been leaking radio, TV, satellite transmissions for nearly 100 years now. And on top of that, we've actually sent out our address on the Voyager missions. So if someone's out there, they might already know that we exist. The question is, are they peaceful or are they just patient?
The CIA was interested in potentially tracking the activity of hybrids, human-alien hybrids in the United States.
And going back in their lineage.
Their lineage.
Right, and going back in their ancestry. I don't know how they collected this DNA. You know, we have oversight now, and that oversight started in the mid-'70s, congressional oversight. This sounded like it occurred before there was congressional oversight, because you couldn't do that today.
Yeah, no, it'd be illegal.
Yes, completely. So this may have occurred earlier.
Right.
That they were interested, and then when we developed in the 90s, we developed the ability to sequence the human genome completely. That may have furthered the investigation into the alien DNA.
Has there ever been, and feel free to answer this with a one-word answer, has there ever been a situation that you were in where you've gotten confirmation of the government's involvement with human-alien hybrids?
Yes.
Let's talk about the declassified CIA document that says we live in a holographic reality. Same one that says that the woman's womb is a portal that you can send your consciousness anywhere, past, present, or future. Why was the government looking into these things? Why did they have people astral projecting, remote viewing to help the military and other government organizations? It is because of people like this. Meet Robert Monroe. So he was a very successful businessman born in 1915. He made his money in radio and television. He was obsessed with consciousness. Why? Because he spontaneously started having out-of-body experiences. So he describes it saying that he felt this vibration inside, this humming, and one of the nights when he went to sleep, the humming became so intense and he slipped outside of his body. He thought he lost his mind, so he went to a bunch of doctors to get tested to see if he had a mental breakdown, if he had brain tumors. You need to remember, at this time, out-of-body experiences were not common in the West. In the East, they're like, bro, we've been doing this for thousands and thousands of years. All the tests came back that he was healthy, that he was mentally there, it's all good, so he became hyper obsessed to figure out why was this happening. He hired a whole team of scientists, one of them being Thomas Campbell. They wanted to see if they could create a system and scientifically explain how to replicate these experiences. Essentially, they wanted to decode consciousness through the scientific method, and they did an incredible job. They eventually set up the Monroe Institute. It became the hub for scientific and spiritual exploration. It was so successful that they caught the eyes of the CIA, and this is why they were looking into it. They were looking into the gateway process. Because of his background in radio, he wanted to see if you could use sound to help people get into these states. One of the things they created is called hemisync. It's where they would play 2 different frequencies in your ears. Imagine you have 100 hertz and 104 hertz. And what happens is your brain will combine the frequencies to make up the difference, creating the 4 hertz, right? The difference between the 100 and the 104. It synchronizes the left and right hemisphere, and it brings you into the meditative state.
On today's episode of Guess What the Fuck I Found on the CIA website, there's this declassified document from 1983 where the CIA openly admits reality isn't what we think it is. It's called the gateway process. And it was all about training people to leave their bodies. Like, tap into altered states of consciousness and travel through fucking space and time using their mind. Yeah, and the CIA studied astral projection, they studied remote viewing, parallel timelines, and even something that they called the absolute. According to the document, the universe is a hologram. Like, your consciousness isn't inside your body is inside your consciousness. They used tech from the Monroe Institute to hack reality, like binaural beats, frequencies, altered brain waves, and apparently it fucking worked. So why was the CIA funding this? Why did they declassify it and hope that no one would notice? Because it proves something huge. Like, you are way more powerful than they want you to believe. And this reality is bendable. So this was buried in a CIA document for like 20 years. It's on CIA.gov.
20
Go check
years?
it out yourself.
We've been talking about the fog, right? And everybody's freaking out about the amount of fog that's going around.
Not only nationwide, worldwide.
Well, apparently in the 50s, our government ran this experiment called Operation Sea Spray in 1950, the U.S. Navy's secret biological warfare experiment in which Seriata marcescens and another bacteria were sprayed over the San Francisco Bay Area in California in order to determine how vulnerable a city like San Francisco might be to a bioweapon attack. They killed 1 American and put 10 more in the hospital. This bacteria affects the gut, the respiratory issues, and the urinary tract. Now, the person who died had a pre-existing thing, and so they were trying to say, like, none of this is confirmed, but then the military confirmed in a Senate hearing that this is actually an experiment that they did. And so they weren't held liable for anything because you can't definitively correlate the introduction of the bacteria to, like, that's definitely what got this person. But it is beyond doubt admitted that they put bacteria in the air to test if the entire San Francisco region was susceptible to a biological warfare attack. So the reason they said it was okay to do is because this specific bacteria isn't bad enough to make people actually sick. They were testing a delivery system.
Give us laughing gas or something. Give us something fun.
But that's what's crazy. 10 people, like, hospital stays, one of them died, and it's like, well, that was just a test and a risk we were willing to run.
It is either there's something sinister happening or the biggest coincidence ever that across the whole nation, people were like, dude, this is weird fog. What's up with this fog? And then 2 weeks later, this giant influenza A, influenza B, norovirus, and RSV is rampant.
Yeah.
I think over 11,000 people in the U.S. have died so far from it.
Really?
Yeah.
What you're looking at right now is the world's first hotel in space. And the wildest part, you could book a room here for just $5,000 a night. It's opening in 2027. Orbital Assembly's Voyager station is set to become the first ever space hotel. It's designed to host 450 guests and 150 crew members, and yes, it features lunar gravity. But here's where it gets really crazy. This isn't just a space capsule. It's built for luxury. We're talking spas, cinemas, and even zero-gravity sports. The rotating station creates artificial gravity, which means no more muscle atrophy like astronauts usually face. It's also a marvel of engineering, powered by solar energy, equipped with hydroponic gardens, and designed to be self-sustaining, a literal floating ecosystem in low Earth orbit. And the views? You'll experience Earth like never before, all while lounging in the world's first hybrid gravity zone. The genius.
You know what this remind me of? The Titanic.
Behind it all, this $50 billion project could ignite a $2.4 trillion space economy by 2040. Voyager isn't just a hotel, it's a paradigm shift, a preview of how we'll live, vacation, and innovate beyond Earth. Space is no longer just for astronauts. The future of luxury and travel is off-world.
Okay, I've just got off the phone with Ethan Guo, the 19-year-old pilot that's been detained in Antarctica, and it's not looking good. Firstly, for anyone that doesn't know, Ethan is trying to raise $1 million for cancer research by becoming the first person ever to fly to all 7 continents solo. He's been traveling for over 360 days and only has one continent left, the one that he's currently detained on, Antarctica. And if you're thinking, detained by who? No one owns it. Well, that's where things get tricky, because on the 28th of June, he took off from Chile heading to Argentina, when he says the weather conditions got so bad he had to declare an emergency and divert to land at Tennant Marsh, which is a public airfield in Antarctica. And when he did, everything seemed okay. He was met by a fire response team, and after a bit of a conversation and an hour later, they said he was cleared to take off again, but he should file a new flight plan with the control tower. However, before he could, another group of people, this time in black clothing, approached him and said he was under arrest. You would only later find out that this was the Chilean Navy. After arresting Ethan, they searched his plane, moved it into a hangar, and then later that night they took his phone, they strip searched him, and then placed him in a room under guard supervision and did not allow him to contact the consulate or use Wi-Fi. Now here is where things get crazy, because Chile has been trying to claim this part of Antarctica since 1940, about a year after World War II broke out. But under the Antarctic Treaty, which they also signed in 1961, no country can claim sovereignty over Antarctica. So that begs the question, what legal basis do they have to apply Chilean law to a non-citizen outside of Chile? That's not to mention that Ethan declared an emergency to land, which in the aviation world typically grants you immunity from laws and repercussions pending an investigation. From their perspective, they are saying that Ethan lied about the emergency, saying that his social media post about his goal trying to land on all 7 continents suggests evidence for intent rather than a real emergency. And now things have got real bad. He says that they've now placed a 90-day travel ban on him from leaving Chile while they investigate. Problem is though, he's not in Chile and he can't even get there because he says that they won't allow him to fly the plane and there's no boats or planes to get back there for months. He says he can't even leave the Navy barracks without someone having to go with him. So he's now stuck in Antarctica in peak winter, hoping that his legal team can somehow get him out. But at least he's got his phone back now. So I'll keep speaking with him and keep you guys updated as we know more.
All right, YouTube, that's the video for today. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel.